truth would not be silenced, the show that allows people to be seen, to be heard, and to be human. I'm your host, Melissa Woodfork White. In today's episode, we will talk about international DJ success with DJ Ian Smith. Sharing our stories allows us to encourage, inspire, motivate, and uplift and help people. There will be a special surprise at the end of the show. Be sure to listen all the way through for the details. Our returning special guest today is none other than DJ Ian Smith. He is an international professional disc jockey, wedding host, radio presenter, event organizer, and former recording artist. He has more than 3 radio shows, one that is weekly every Thursday and Northwest England based, 2 bi-monthly every other Saturday and based in London, and a third is weekly every Saturday and based in the United States. He's also going to share with us his new shows since then. Ian loves music, and his music empowers people from all walks of life to be free and happy. He is known as Bass Zone. Ian is currently completing a degree in journalism and broadcasting. He is a loving brother and uncle. Ian is going to share with us about his international DJ success. Hi, Ian. Welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Melissa. Lovely to be back and lovely to see you as well.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and jump right into that first question. How did you achieve success as an international professional DJ? Tell us your story from the beginning to the present, and then also your work ethic and expertise.
Wow, that's yeah. How long have we got? I'll make this as what's the word? I'll make it
Give us all of the juicy stuff.
so yeah, I've been a DJ now for wow, it must be nearly 30 years. So I started out on vinyl on 1210s. With a collective of guys from Manchester. I was an MC and there was a DJ, and I used to help hype up the crowd. Then I really got into watching what the DJ was doing, and really loved what he was doing with the music on the 1210s and doing remixes and mashups and all this stuff. And I got into the DJ that way, and then decided I wanted to DJ myself, so I became a DJ in my own right. Then started to look for work as an individual rather than a collective. Got a residency in like a small bar, then a bigger bar, and then a club, and then lots of clubs. I then got involved in radio through a friend of mine who was running a radio station and needed someone to cover a show on a Saturday night. So I sort of used to do a club set and then go straight to this radio station to do a show for a few hours, and that's how I got into radio really. And I've been doing radio on and off ever since, and I've never stopped doing the DJing stuff once I got hooked on it really. Even when I was in the band and performing and writing with the band, I was still DJing as a sideline. So it's just something that's been constant throughout really my adult years. I've had a link to music either through writing it, performing it, or DJing with it, or broadcasting it. So it's yeah, music's a massive part of my life, and that's how I've arrived to where I am now with keeping the music going, sharing a lot of the stuff I do with the music on my social media, and then that's attracted attention from other radio stations here and in the US, and dialogue's been formed, and yeah, agreements are made, and now I'm broadcasting all over the place. It's great.
So tell us all of the places that you are broadcasting from.
Wow. Right. Let me start. So every Thursday I still do the first show that I started to do again just before the lockdown. So that's every Thursday on Halfon. That's in the northwest. I now have a Wednesday evening show, which is in the UK and London based on Street Sounds Radio. I have 2 Friday shows. So I have a Friday show in Phoenix, Arizona, which is from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. Is it PST? Your time is
MST.
MST. Sorry, MST.
You got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh goodness. And then I then go over to North Carolina on Dalsoul Radio, and I have a show on there from 10 till 12 every Friday. And then on Saturdays, I have a show on Rhythm Flight Radio, which is in St. Louis, Missouri, and that's 4 till 7 CST. And then on a Monday, I have a show on the Urban Influencer, which is again based in the US, and that goes out at 12 noon, I think CST, which is about no, it's not CST, it's something else, but that's 12 noon out there, 12 noon and 3 p.m. out in the US, and it hits here at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And my Thursday show is repeated also on a Monday afternoon on Halfin. Oh, sorry, and I've missed one out. I also have a 5-day week slot on a DAB radio station, which goes out across the whole of Manchester, Monday to Friday, from 12 until 3 p.m. in the UK.
That is so awesome. Tell us how you went from starting off with just 3 radio shows to the multitude that you have now. How did it happen?
Look, but some of it's been luck, but some of it I think is just down to hard work. So I promote the shows like tirelessly.
Mm-hmm.
Sick of seeing all the promotion I do for the shows. And I also, being a former artist, I've got a real thing about helping artists get their music out there because that's half of the battle. If you can get an audience to your music,
Mm-hmm.
that's half the battle won. So I don't just broadcast the shows. I upload the shows to my Mixcloud, which is a streaming service you can go and re-listen to things on. And I also upload the playlists on my social media. So when I do a show, a few days afterwards, I will upload the show to my Mixcloud, and then I'll share the Mixcloud onto my social media with a full like breakdown of who were played in the show and the time, etc., the track title and the artist, and if it's an old track, even a year it was released. And I'll tag some of the artists in if I can find them, so they can see that their music's being played, like over here in the UK or out there in the US, and it just attracts a lot of attention. There's a nice buzz around it.
Nice.
Attracted a lot of attention. Yeah.
That is awesome. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want you to tell us about how you got into the event side. So you shared with us about the DJ and the radio. I want you
Yeah.
to share with us about the event side because you do events.
So on the event side, I used to be invited to be guest on lots of different events, um, and then I got into DJing more like on a solo basis with me. But then I decided on the solo basis, I do a lot of commercial DJing. So I'll be hired by a bar or a club for like a Friday or Saturday night, and they'll have an age group that they want to particularly communicate with, and they'll have like a type of music that they want you to play as well. So I'm quite flexible. So a lot of the times when I'm playing out, I'm playing like a playlist or genres that the bar or the people that hire me want me to play, populate the bar, which is really nice, and I still enjoy that. But I also, as you can tell, enjoy playing a lot of my own music and what I really
Yes.
like via the radio shows. So I got into started to do events so I could actually play the music that I like and invite people that have the same type of taste as me to events to hear that music as well. And that's really how that's carried on. So like once every 3 months now, I have an event called Smooth Urban Soul, which the radio show is named,
Mm-hmm.
and we invite people to like nice hotels or really nice bars or a really nice club, and we will have a night where we're just playing all the best new and classic soul and R&B, the type of stuff we play on the radio show, and you're hearing the stuff that I love to play and what I grew up with and what I like to share with everybody. So that's how the event started up. Really, it was sort of me trying to give something back, but
Mm-hmm.
rather than me sort of playing and giving something back musically, but more in the eyes of that's what the bar wants me to play, or that's what the club wants me to play, or whatever.
Awesome. So I want you to share with us the first event that you ever DJ'd as a solo DJ.
So goodness me. So the first event, as
Oh
in
yeah, you got to go all the way back.
all the way back. So the first event.
I think you told me it was a wedding or you were invited to a wedding. And then that's when you knew that you wanted.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh right. So the first event that I did the first event I did as a wedding DJ and host was after I was invited to a friend's wedding, and I used to do a DJ for a lot of that family's events, and they invited me to their wedding, and well they called me for a meeting at first, so which I was a bit like, oh, why did they want to meet with me? So I was invited to a meeting, and they broke the news that they were getting married, but they didn't want me to DJ, so I was like, oh, what have I done? we want you to come and enjoy the night and
Yeah.
everything, and just be a guest. And you know, don't. It's nothing personal. But we're having the wedding, and we're using this particular guy and from this particular company. But I said it's fine, your wedding. I would love to come and support you because you know I was a friend of the family as well. And I went to the wedding, and the guy that was playing at the wedding was awesome. He played really well. He mixed like a club DJ. The vibe was very clubby. He spoke really well, and I thought, well, God, he's like a clone of me, really. Uh,
Hmm.
so I can understand why they didn't need me, but they wanted me to come and enjoy myself because he entertained me as well. So I ended up having a chat with this guy because it was that good, and I had to tell him, I said, I go to a lot of events, I hear lots of DJs, and I'm not easily impressed, but I'm impressed. You know, the selection of music, the mixing, the reading the room, the energy, all of that. I said it's brilliant. I said I normally do a lot of work for these guys, but actually today you're me, and I'm really happy that you're me because I really enjoyed it. I'm just like, oh, this is really good. Yeah, and then he sort of we had a really good chat, and he sort of said, well, do you do anything like this? I said, no, I just still do many clubs and stuff. And he said, you could do this. It's better. It's like slightly, it's less hours, more money. And I was in. When he said less hours, more money, I was in.
I know
I
that's
said,
right.
okay, yeah, tell me all
Yeah.
about it. And we kept talking, and he helped me get into the wedding industry, and yeah, I've been there ever since, really.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Ian, I have to ask you, when you first started off DJing, were you still working full time?
Yes.
Tell us
So
about that.
yeah, so I had a I
Because
had a
I don't
couple.
want people to think that you accumulated all the success that you have by being a full time DJ
Oh my
when
goodness.
tell your story.
So yeah, I've always been a practical guy. So I've always worked,
Mhm.
and I believe in you have to hard work really is what you have to put in if you want any kind of success. So I always had a day job, and the DJing was like a hobby that I really liked, and
Mhm.
yeah, paid for it, and it was okay. But I had a career. So my career before DJing was in further education, and I used to be a business development manager. So I used to work for like the college in my town, which is like
Mhm.
the education in my town, and I used to engage with local companies and regional companies about how to develop, train their staff, access training, access government funding for training, and basically stuff around that really. Um, and then I DJed on the side, and then after having that meeting at my friend's wedding and speaking to that DJ and just crunching some numbers, it turns out that I said, you don't really need to do that anymore. You can earn that and more doing this. So I thought, well, I've always had a day job because I want to make sure I've got a roof over my head. I can
Yes, yes.
I can drive a car. I can enjoy life a little bit, um, and not rely just on the music. But he sort of showed me that actually you're good enough to actually live off the music. Why are you not doing that? I sort of said, well, it's because of the insecurity with it. And like I said, we crunched numbers, and he showed me that it wouldn't be insecure to invest in myself and
Hmm.
out, as a full-time professional DJ, and that's what I did.
Yes, that is so awesome. So, still on this first question, because we're talking about your success, tell us about how you went. You already told us about how you went from working full time and part time DJing to being a full time DJing and then expanding from music into events, which is awesome. But you also have your own business.
Yeah. So
Tell
yeah.
us about it.
So my own business is that I'm a professional DJ and wedding host. So I do weddings and corporate events
Mhm.
throughout the year, and also I organize my own event, which is Smooth Urban Soul.
Yes.
So that's now my full time business. So I have a Facebook page, Instagram page, and so on. So I share information on there, and it helps me advertise my services as well. But that's what I do full time now. And I went from having a car to now I now have a small van because it's more convenient for me because this is what I do full time. And
Yes.
various types of setups to my events a lot easier. Whereas before, I did have quite a big car, a nice big car, but it wasn't really what it wasn't. I didn't really have that in mind when I bought the car.
Right. Of course, because when you
As
bought
it,
that car, you were still
yeah,
working your full-time
I
job
still do my full
and
time job,
DJing
so
on.
yeah, it was more in line with like traveling to and from my companies comfortably. Really, it wasn't really for the DJing side because when I used to before I was a full time DJ, a lot of the venues I used to play in had all their own setup, and I just used to maybe bring some headphones and maybe before a laptop though, headphones and maybe some CDJs, so that would fit in the back of my car very easily. But when I went self-employed and invested in all this stuff, I've got speakers to get in there, I've got
Hmm.
a mixer, I've got lighting, I've got podiums, I've got all manner of things. Just couldn't get them in the car anymore. So yeah, it wasn't practical anymore.
Yeah. So you just talked about you're leading us into that next question because you were talking about how you went from minimal equipment to like you have your own mass production of your DJ set. And
Yeah.
so we're going to go ahead and jump into that next question. What are the most important skills a DJ needs to be successful? I want you to explain the specifics from the equipment to certain equipment for DJing, certain equipment for events, certain equipment when you're recording in the radio, because it's different
Yeah.
equipment. I mean, it has the same foundation, but because of what it is that you're actually doing, you may have different pieces of equipment that you would use. I also want you to talk about the knowledge of rhythm and timing, technical abilities, having stamina, because you work out a lot, organizational skills, creative talent, interpersonal skills. You already talked about that event promotion. Maybe you can give us a little bit more nuggets on that. Sound effect proficiencies and set equipment management. You go where you want to go with this question.
Okay. So starting at the beginning, I think the most important thing for anybody wanting to get into the business is attitude and frame of mind. So you have to have a really strong constitution. You have to be positive. You have to have a lot of self belief. That's the first thing because you will get a lot of knockbacks in the beginning. You know, people don't believe in you until they believe.
Mm-hmm.
No, but you kind of have to give them something to believe in. The other thing as well that I think is really one of the most important things is you need to love music, whatever genre it is or sections of genres. You need to love that, and you need to try and learn about your genre and the music that you're playing. It's really important that you know the type of stuff you're playing, not just. And I'm going to say this because when I started out, you had to buy, you had to go out and spend time in record shops and
Mm-hmm.
you know search for things and pull them out. Can I listen to this? Can I ever listen to that? Whereas now you can go online and you can download decades of music in about 20 minutes. But it's not the same as living through those decades,
Mm-hmm.
acquiring the music sort of organically. There is something to be said for that. And I'll tell you another secret as well. If I go into a bar or a club, I can tell the difference between somebody that has lived the music that they're playing and somebody that downloaded a
Wow.
whole load of music because of the way
Yes.
they play it. Because I've lived and experienced when the music was released.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of the things that were getting played and how they were played. I
Mm-hmm.
can play them if you. Whereas I go to them, I'm like, oh god, this is a
You're a
novice.
DJ whisperer.
Yeah, it's just throwing all kinds of stuff in, and
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't really marry up. So that's really important that you know your music and you
Mm-hmm.
get it organically. In terms of equipment wise, um, I started off on turntables, uh,
Mm-hmm.
basic belt drive ones. Then, as I started to earn more money, I invested in the direct drive, like the Technics ones, so
Mm-hmm.
control and the quality is better. Then we progressed. I'm showing my age here. And then we progressed into CDs. So I then bought CDJs, and that was a different skill. Learning how to mix with those was a different skill again. Um, and then we've gone from CDJs now into laptops and controllers and
Mm-hmm.
USB sticks. So I'm doing all that as well. So again, you've got to invest in. You're only as good as your equipment. I think sometimes
Mm-hmm.
technical guy, but if the equipment is really substandard, you will sound substandard. So I tried not to cut any corners and invest really well with buying the right type of equipment. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
really high spec laptop. I have a really good professional controller, like a Pioneer. I'm on the RX3 at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's got built-in effects. It's all digital. It has outputs for professional use, so I can go from my console into a professional mixer, or into a professional amp, or into professional um, active speakers, etc. But everything, when you buy professional stuff,
Mm-hmm.
up to other professional stuff a lot easier. When you cut corners buying the cheaper stuff, you got to start buying adapters to go from this into that, from that into this, and then
Mm-hmm.
you kind of go through an adapter, you kind of lose some quality. So it's a false economy. You need to
And credibility.
invest in yourself. Yeah, you need to definitely invest in yourself and make sure that you're getting the stuff that you're going professional. You need some kind of professional setup so that you can, whenever you turn up, you can plug into something else and it's from the same type of range. That's what I found. In terms of promoting, um, you are responsible. For me, you are responsible for promoting yourself,
Mm-hmm.
your radio shows, your events, or even if you're playing at a club or a bar. I still feel there's a certain responsibility for you to put it out there that this is where I'm going to be playing, and I'd like to come and share this time with me. I want you to come and see me. I'm going to entertain you, and I think that's really important. I know lots of DJs, and after they get to a certain level, no, I don't have to promote anymore. Everyone knows who I am, you know.
Yeah.
As long as a club puts my name on the thing, people will be there. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you become like, you
You
know,
gotta promote yourself. It's
Jeff.
just what you said.
Yeah. Unless you're Jazzy Jeff or over here Trevor Nelson, that every
Yeah.
maybe you might get away with it then. But if you're not somebody like that, put the work in. And even if I got to that level, I'm putting the work
Eric B and Raquel.
in. Yeah. So yeah, so you've got to get that. So when I say promote, I mean on your
Over here,
social
DJ
media,
Nice.
share, yeah, share images, and let people know where you're going to be on your social media. I
Yeah.
bump into people all the time, and they're asking me what I'm doing, and I'll always, the problem sorry, they ask me, oh, you can catch me here doing this. You can catch me on this station, and I never tire of it because I think people are interested in what you're doing. You need to share it with them. That's the only way that you get your brand out there, and you sort of like grow your brand by people knowing who you are, what you're doing, and what you stand for. That important. The other thing as well that I don't know if I've mentioned already, the most important thing to me with being a DJ is listening, learning how to listen. So people are coming to you with requests,
Mm-hmm.
I know we get a lot of really terrible requests, but in amongst those are some real gems, and it gives you a real insight into what's going on with the mood and the feel of the room. It's dead important. And the other thing that I think as a DJ that is overlooked is watching the room and reading the room. So
Mm-hmm.
I've got anytime I'm playing out, I've got access to like up to 30,000 tracks on because I've got high spec laptop with endless memory, and I carry out. You won't believe the amount of music I've got available to me, but it means nothing if I'm playing that stuff and people are alien to it. They're just not feeling it.
Yeah.
I need to plug into that room. How do I plug into that room? By watching the dance floor and seeing what they're dancing to. They're really digging that. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to
Like
find
when
out why they're
everybody
digging
gets
that.
up.
What genre? Yeah, what genre am I playing now? Right, what tempo am I playing? Right, I need to stick around this tempo for a while, and then maybe build it up. And same again, if you're playing a tempo, you start to feel you're losing it. Oh, right, what's going on there? The vibes dropped a little bit here. I need to maybe look at the tempo here. Do I need to G it up? Are we losing the energy, or have I worn them out and I need to just bring it down a touch a little bit and then get them back there? So there's all these things you need to be watching all the time and analyzing all the time just to make sure that your crowd is having the time of their life and you're a part of that process. I've been into venues and it's very much like a them and us with the DJ. The DJ's a bit peeved because he's been playing whatever, they're not feeling it. The crowd are a bit peeved because they think the DJ's not listening to them and they can't be bothered with him. And it's like a standoff, and it's awful to see that.
I've been there. I've been the one sitting there waiting for him to play something that I can actually get up and dance to. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Going
But
back
as a
to how you
consumer,
shared with us, how you can tell the difference between
yeah,
those that actually love the music and they read the crowd versus those who are just playing whatever their playlist is and just going
yes,
through the set. And so, yes, all very important. But I have to ask you this because you dropped us a lot of gems just now.
Yeah.
You are a DJ whisperer. That's my term because you know
Yeah.
the difference and you can spot
Yeah.
the difference when you enter into the room. So, what
Yeah.
did you think of the DJ at our wedding anniversary vow renewal?
I really liked him. I thought it was really good, and I thought he read the room quite well, and he played some quite special stuff for you as well, which I was really impressed with.
So here's the thing, we created our playlist, but it goes back to what you said, it's how it's executed.
Yes, absolutely.
And so we created that playlist, and I think just like you, he executed it very well.
He did. I really enjoyed it. I got up and danced with you guys for a while, and I went over and shook his hand and told him I thought he did a great set,
Yeah.
and genuinely as well. I thought he did really well. I really
He's
enjoyed it.
other than you, that's the first time I would want to take him somewhere else. Like if I had another event, if I
Yeah,
couldn't get you, I would definitely go with him.
I can see that because I really enjoyed him. I thought he played a great set. He read the
Yes, and he did our
yeah.
playlist justice. He did it justice. And so that's why I was like, me and Nathan carefully chose each one of those songs and what they meant to us. And so, and then he threw in, don't get me wrong, he did throw in a little something because once again, reading the room.
Yes.
Some of the songs, the line dances and stuff like that, he threw that
Yeah.
in there
That's,
and then got people up and
there
they
you
were
go.
doing their thing.
Yes,
And
definitely.
so, would
You've
you
just touched on
say,
something there with the
would you,
playlist because
yes,
a lot of DJs feel that they don't need to be taking advice from anybody because they're experts. But I will always encourage anybody I'm playing for to give me a playlist because it gives me a window
mm-hmm.
into what they like and what their crowd will like as well. So as a DJ again as well, do not be afraid of asking for some direction. You know, what type of stuff do you like? What would you like me to play? What are you into? Those are important things. You're not an all-seeing, like all-knowing, like demigod because you're into music. It doesn't work like that. This
Mm-hmm.
so vast now. So you need to ask those questions. You know, what do you like? What do you like me to play? It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It means that you've got an interest in making sure that what you're doing is going to be palatable with the people that are paying you to do the job. So that's really important.
Yes. And I would tell you, some of those line dances that he played, that was the first time me and Nathan has ever heard them, but that people were on
Really?
the dance floor. People were on the
Yeah.
dance floor once again, throwing, not just doing our playlist, but reading the crowd and who's on
Yes.
the floor and so forth, because we had some young people there.
Yeah.
And so they knew those songs, even though we didn't know those songs, but it was still nice.
I'll tell you what I love about when I go out to the US and the Caribbean as well is these songs with all these line dances. How do you guys know all of these line dances? It's amazing.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know all of them, but I know my fair share. And it starts out from, and now I'm telling my age because the electric slide was out long before I was born. But
Yeah.
that was the first line dance that me and my siblings learned was the electric slide, honey. You couldn't tell us nothing.
Well, that's the only dance we know out here in the UK is the electric slide.
But
No,
the other ones I
yeah,
learned
that's all
as
we know.
the other ones I learned because I love music and I love the dance. I just don't like the list. I love the dance. And so
Yeah.
I learned those other ones. So every time, like when the Cupid Shuffle came out and then the Macarena, and then I could just go on and on. I was like, yeah, learned them all. And so when you
So
hear those songs, those are line dancing songs, you're going to get a whole lot of us on the floor at the same time.
right, I tell a lie actually. A lot of people out here know the Macarena as well, but that's more
I
English
know.
that know that out here. But
Hey,
for the brothers and
Macarena.
sisters, for the brothers and sisters, it's mainly it's like the electric slide, or we call it the candy dance because
But
everybody
the
does it with
Cupid
candy out here. You
Shuffle, you
put
got to
candy
get
on.
that one. That's ours, honey. That's ours. That
Yeah,
Cupid
yeah,
Shuffle,
def-
yes.
definitely. So every time I go over there, I keep trying to. I always keep an eye on the dances and thinking, oh, I wonder if one of these will catch on in the UK, and I'll try and share some stuff on it, but nobody ever really catches it. They never really.
But the one that you saw at our wedding anniversary was That one was new to me. I've never heard that one before. And then when they were doing the line dance to it, I was like, that's a new one.
All
So
right.
it's
Well, so
like
was it?
that
I
was
thought it was me.
amazing.
I thought it was just me, Melissa. I was like,
No, that one was new to me.
I was like,
And
yeah, I've never
so
seen this one. Let me just watch this.
yeah. So Ian, thank you so much. Last question, really quick, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. How does sharing your story today help others? Tell us about the current and your future plans.
So current plans are to solidify all the radio I'm doing and keep getting the message out there. Future plans, I'd like to come and do some stuff in America. I'd love to do an event in the US, a Smooth Urban Soul in the US. That's what I'm going to be working towards now, because
Florida.
we don't really do anything like in the US out here,
Did
and
you
we all
hear me?
from the US to the UK. So I'd like to bring something your side from over here, and yeah, I would love to do that.
Ian, Florida 2025.
Yeah, yeah, I'm all over that.
And you know the resort that we're going to be staying at.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe you could do something while we're there.
that would be really nice. But again, I need to, yeah, sort of strengthen some connections and yeah, and start to what's the word? Network. Uh,
Yes.
and
An
networking
oldie but
more.
goodie.
Yeah,
Network.
absolutely.
Yes. Awesome, Ian. Thank you so much for joining us again and dropping all of those gems and sharing your success with us. Congratulations to you and more continued success. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you very much.
All right. So next week, we'll continue to discuss and have conversations about real experiences, personal and professional, stories that need to be shared, seen, and heard that makes us human. The truth will not be silenced. To be seen, to be heard, to be human. The surprise. If you like or leave a positive comment about this show, you'll get a shout out. This includes businesses, products, services, organizations, and events. And we want to give some special shouts out to @Metrini and I am Erica Perkins for leaving us positive comments about our show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Following the link in the show notes lets Buzzsprout know we sent you and help support our show. Buzzsprout is the best way to launch a professional podcast. Want to ask a question, be a guest, or subscribe to this podcast? The truth will not be silenced. Click on the show link. Thank you so much for joining us.